Hello, this is Will Cormany and Victor Ronzulli, and we have Troy McCauley, one of the two partner owners of Emmunize, on the line with us to share some technical details. Thanks for being here, Victor. Thanks for being here, Troy.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you taking some time to get this out to the field. Thank you, Troy.
Absolutely. No problem. Excited to be on the call.
Okay, we are too. We've got just, we wanted to put together something here where people a lot of product questions out there. Obviously we're in a pre-launch, we're in a soft launch, so we have people who are really excited to get their hands on this product, and of course we have people out there that, question, how good it really is and if it's going to work. And the thing is, this is not a new product where, you're coming to a website that has, you're going to be testing this for the first time. This product has actually been out there and people are using it. Troy, do you want to touch on the time frame that people have already had good experience with this?
Absolutely, absolutely. The product was actually started development about 7 to 8 years ago. So this is not something that just came out yesterday. And we have thousands of customers using Emmunize as we speak. The product was launched about 2 years ago, and we've had pretty much rave reviews over it, as from our customers as well as from some lab results that we've had from a lab company that tested our product a few months ago.
Yeah, and we've certainly seen a lot of those reviews, and we've had some people out there that were asking, when they're promoting this company, Emmutec, for the product Emmunize, they're asking, can we say that this is 100% fail-safe and no viruses are going to get through? And I didn't really know how to answer that, but you gave a really clear explanation of how people should approach that. Would you touch on that for us?
Absolutely. Well, to be quite frank, there's not a product out there that can guarantee you 100% security. But what we can do is we can explain why our product is better and what makes it better, and say that we take additional steps to protect the computer than the other competitors out there. So for anyone to say we can 100% guarantee you're never going to get a virus, you need to be leery of that, because it's just not a fact. It's just there's too many hackers out there. There's people all over the world as we sit right this second trying to figure out ways to break into your system. So we're way ahead of the game. We've got things in place that nobody else has or that we're unaware of anybody else having. So we feel like we offer the best protection on the market today, and we're going to continue to do that and continue to improve our product.
And I'd like to go ahead and throw this out right now. Anybody can go to www.bit.ly/Emmunized, and that's Emmunized. Again, it's bit.ly/Emmunized, and that is actually a site where you can see the lab test results for the product. And I think you said, Troy, that there was 50,000 viruses thrown out during those tests. Is that correct?
That is correct. And if you take a look at those test results, though it may be technical in nature, pay attention to the fact that we stopped every one of the viruses that were thrown at our product, and probably all of the other products that you guys have ever heard of were in that test. And we blew them all away, not only in viruses that were already out there, but in zero-day attacks. We were one of only 3 companies that stopped any zero-day attacks. And what a zero-day attack means, Will and Victor, is viruses that were launched today. What did Emmunize do to stop those? Well, we were the only company that stopped them all. Our second-place competitor, I think, if I'm not mistaken, stopped about 23% of those. The third-place competitor stopped 7% of them. And then the rest of them, like Kaspersky and Norton and McAfee and Microsoft Security Essentials and AVG, and the list goes on, they didn't stop any of them. So we can touch on that a little bit later as to why that is, but the tests back up exactly what we're saying. We protect your computer better than anybody else can.
Okay, great. And before you go with your technical questions, Victor, I'd just like to point out that a couple of us noticed that with this massive pre-launch where Emmutec has generated so much interest all over the internet, the software company, you know, admittedly last night on the corporate call, the people building the website, you know, one of the top IT guys just basically said we were not prepared. You know, we just didn't have the server strength in place. So if anybody made a comment to you that, well, this isn't a good start for a software company, you know, I heard that. I heard someone say, you know, you might be a little leery of someone with an antivirus product that, you know, they've got a website that crashed that quick and people can't join. Those two companies, I mean, those two things are completely separate. The product, Emmunize, is the product that we're, you know, going to have on the website. The software company that's building the website for us to promote Emmunize, those are two totally separate different things, and Troy and I thought that it would be a good idea to go ahead and make note of that in case it scared anybody. But go right ahead, Victor.
All right. Well, I mean, you know, I got two things before I ask them the next question. Number one is, though, that based on the comment that Will just made, you know, what a problem to have, you know, for a company like ours that is signing up distributors right now, that the response that we have had for this product is so great that the number of people that hit the site crash the servers. That is a good problem to have. I mean, admittedly, they underestimated the power of the word of mouth, but you know what? It's been taken care of in less than 24 hours, and we're up and running and, you know, strong as ever. The other comment that I wanted to make before asking the question was, you know, when you asked Troy about is there something that can stop a attack or viruses from coming into your machine 100%, and actually there is something you can do to stop that, and that is to unplug your machine from the internet. That's about the only thing you can do, my friend, to avoid 100%, you know, any viruses out there. But now for something more serious, I mean, let me go ahead and ask the next question that we have had from the field. A lot of people are asking this, and they wanted to know, why is our software, why is Emmunize better, okay, based on the fact that we know we use a whitelist, but, you know, there is some people out there that don't understand that, and some people think that, yeah, there is other companies that are using whitelist. Can you explain how our whitelist on Emmunize, I mean, I don't want you to go into details, but why is it better, why does it work better against those that say they have one?
Well, that's a great question, and a lot of people will confuse what a whitelist is, especially a lot of people in the IT field that don't even know themselves. Whitelisting in the security field is typically used when scanning your computer looking for a virus. And let me explain why that's important, okay? That is a reactive approach. If a virus attacked your computer and you're using your antivirus product to look for a virus that's already on your computer, you're already host, okay? So what happens is, to try and speed up their scanning looking for viruses, they will actually whitelist all of the applications they know are on your computer that should be safe, so they don't have to scan those. Because if they scanned all the things that were on your computer that they knew were safe, then you would complain as a customer that this is taking too much of the resources on my computer and this is taking too long. That is a whole different whitelist approach than the way Emmunize whitelists. And let me explain why. The way we use whitelisting is really one of the major differences we do from everybody else. And that is, there is a bad list, which is a list of all the viruses that companies know about. We have one ourselves, okay? So if we know of a virus that comes out, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but the company that did our lab test claims to assess over 200,000 viruses every day. That's astounding. I know a lot of you are like, wow, that's unbelievable. You got to understand, there's people all over the world trying to create viruses to attack you, okay? So at the end of the day, what happens is we can stop all the viruses we know are out there. That's what everybody else does. That's why people still get viruses even though they have antivirus. But let's talk about that whitelist again, okay? So what we use a whitelist for is we know that we have about 20 million good applications, and an application or program is something that will execute on your PC, something you shouldn't be scared of, something we shouldn't question, okay? We put those in our whitelist, and we say, okay, if something comes to your computer and it's on the whitelist, then we let it come through. It should be able to run on your computer, okay? But if something is on the bad list, we tell it to go away just like everybody else. But then the trick is, if it's not on our white list and it's not on our bad list, you should always know when something is going to execute on your PC. And that is the trick. If all the other products out there are only stopping what they know is bad, guess what? There's 200,000 new viruses coming out a day. There's no way they can keep track of all those viruses. So they assume it's good as long as it's not on their bad list, which means you get a virus. That's why 1 out of every 5 people that uses a PC today will get a virus within 1 year, even with existing antivirus. So just in a summary, what we do differently that makes us different is we have a whitelist that's a proactive whitelist. So we say, okay, we're going to let good things come onto your computer that we know are good. We're going to have a bad list and stop everything we know is bad, and then we're going to stop anything else from executing that we don't know about. Now, you might ask yourself, well, does that mean a lot of things are going to be stopped? No, it doesn't. The product Emmunize is going to learn your behavior. It's going to bubble wrap, in a way, so to speak, bubble wrap your computer to your type of environment, okay? So everybody's computer can look different. Some people may use things that other people don't use. So it's going to address only what you do, and at the end of the day, you should always know if something's installing on your PC. So when you have a good software that's trying to install on your PC, a couple of things typically happen. Number one, you usually have to read the terms and conditions and agree to it. And secondly, you have to agree that you want this on your computer. Well, we all know that's not what a virus does. A virus, you click on an executable that's a virus, and you're done. It's over with. So that's what makes our product different. We do 2 additional steps than most of the other products out there. That's why we say we can stop more viruses than anybody else on the market, and that's what the lab results proved.
Well,
does that kind of explain that, Will? Victor?
Oh, yes. It explains this perfectly. I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, I had that problem today. I've told everybody that I talked to that I'm running 4 different antivirus, malware, and root kit softwares in order to keep my machine clean. And even though I do that, today my son went to YouTube and he started playing a video that he wanted to watch, and sure enough, here I have a virus that paralyzed my machine. I'm thankful that I was able to clean it up, and I'm able to use the machine, but normally people cannot do that, and they have to spend money and time to get it all done. This is another thing that they're going to save is time and money.
That's right.
Our software. The other question, one of the other questions that I have for you was, a lot of the people in the field are asking us, you know, with with Emmunize and the way that it works, I mean, and being in the software realm that we know that it moves so fast, they wanted to know, I mean, we're first to market with this product, so we will have from now and forever an advantage over any competitors that will come in the future, but they wanted to know, what is the company doing? Is there anything in the works to keep upgrading the software, to come up with applications to be used on from cell phones, and et cetera, et cetera? What are the plans that you guys have? And you don't have to give me details or divulge any data that you don't want to, but tell us kind of what your idea is for the years to come with this product.
Absolutely. Well, we're working on, our development team is working on a lot of different things, but we will constantly be updating Emmunize, and we will constantly be upgrading Emmunize, and that will constantly be at no additional cost to the customer. But as for other things that we're working on, there's a lot of things on the drawing board. There's some things in the development right now that I can't really speak of today, but I will tell you the world of security is going to be extremely important moving forward on all sorts of devices, hint, hint, and we are prepared to attack all of that. So we're here to stay. We have good things coming, and I will tell you that some of I'm not going to mention their names, but the lead developers of some of the biggest brands out there have specifically called some of my staff, asking them, what are we doing, how are we doing it, can we get together and meet with you? Obviously, my answer is no, we can't. We've got what we've got. You guys go do what you're doing and mind your own business. So we know we're in the catbird seat. We're going to stay there, and we're going to continue to plug away. When you have something like this that nobody else has, you got to hit it while it's hot, and that's what we plan on doing, and that's why everybody's on this call today.
That's awesome. I'm telling you, as a network marketer and being a distributor in this company, makes me feel very good when I hear you say that, because one of the things that we look for in a company, number one, is, you know, product, the people, and the pay plan. Our pay plan is great. The people in the company are awesome, and the product is just amazing. Emmunize is, that and then some. Now,
by the way, Victor, you might want to tell everybody you did not have Emmunize on your computer when you got that virus, right?
I didn't what?
You might want to tell everybody you did not have Emmunize on your computer when you got that virus today.
Oh, yeah, let's make that clear. I don't have Emmunize on the machine yet. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait to have it installed on my machine. But thank you for that. That's true. Another question I wanted to ask is, you kind of touched about it before as to the difference of Emmunize with other software, but there is a main difference that I know about that we spoke about earlier that you mentioned that I want you to touch in, and that's the fact that many people don't know, but your machine will be faster when you have Emmunize running in there against any other software, and especially some of the ones like Norton and McAfee that are such resource hoggers. And explain to us the cloud concept and how is Emmunize so much different than everybody else as far as that's concerned so that they can understand.
Well, for those of you that are in the technology field, you'll understand this, but those of you that aren't, I'll try and explain it real briefly. Everything is moving toward the cloud, and the benefit of a cloud environment, which is what Emmunize resides in, is that definition list that I was talking about. All that list of all the bad viruses that all the other companies have and that we have as well, they typically store that on your computer. We don't. So imagine if I said there's 200,000 new viruses coming out every day, imagine how many viruses are on our bad list over the last 5 years. Millions, right? Well, guess what? They store that database of definition list on your PC. Well, that's a, as you said, Victor, that's a resource hog. It slows your PC down. So when you install Emmunize, you need to uninstall your current antivirus, okay? When you do that, you free up your resources, and because we store our definition list in the cloud, a couple of things happen. A, it speeds up your computer, and B, I talk to people all the time that say, I don't remember the last time I updated my antivirus software. Well, guess what? If your antivirus software isn't up to date, you're not even being protected against the last viruses that came out on their updated list. The beautiful thing about it being in the cloud like Emmunize has is when it's in the cloud, you're constantly being updated. So you don't have to worry about, is my antivirus software up to date? It's constantly updated. As long as you're connected to the internet, you're updated. And we protect your PC even when you're not connected to the internet from USB devices or anything like that. But as soon as you get back on the internet, it's going to check for the latest updates and it's going to upgrade that, and you never have to worry about that. A lot of people find that very important.
Well, it is very important, and that's why, I asked the question and I wanted you to explain it, because some people were thinking that being on the cloud, the software was going to live on the cloud and stuff, and they needed to understand that the software actually resides on your machine and it protects your machine from other things that might come in via, a CD or a USB port, but all those files, which usually hog resources, are going to be in somewhere else where it's not going to affect your system performance, and it actually may make it better.
And Victor, I'll add on to that. I don't know if those of you have seen it. Microsoft is doing a lot of commercials about the cloud. The cloud is a big, big topic these days, especially in the enterprise world, and you're going to see it more and more and more in the consumer world. Everything's going to the cloud, and you can feel confident that Emmunize and the product that we're selling is already cloud-based, so you're already way ahead of the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, and people, will get used to it, to the fact that actually they have been using the cloud. Anytime you go in the internet, that's the cloud. So
that's exactly
it's not
right.
A magical thing. So, Will, I'm going to turn it over to you for, I know you have a few more questions, so go ahead.
Just one more right now. That was one of a lot of the questions I've been hearing. When we get the software, and I'm sure there's going to be instructions and that kind of thing in the back office, but, people were asking, if they needed to uninstall their existing antivirus software. And Troy, you said today, kind of the reason why, just so people understand. Could you tell them, the reason that they need to not have others running in conjunction with Emmunize?
Absolutely, because they're both searching for the same thing. They're both essentially trying to do the same thing, and what often happens, whether it's Emmunize or any other products out there, you load two of them on the same machine and they're counteracting each other. They're both scanning the same thing. They're both running into each other. They're both resource hogs. Emmunize obviously isn't, but any other kind of antivirus running on your PC, A, is a resource you don't need, and if you spend any money on it, you can do away with that. But yeah, it's the best behavior is going to be if Emmunize is running alone with the other antivirus, either uninstalled or at least turned off.
Correct,
Okay,
and that's no different than, by the way, guys, than any other software when you buy Norton or anybody else. I mean, that's exactly the same thing they ask, and it has to do with the fact that they use the same resources, so then you're going to have two programs conflicting for resources, and it will actually not help you, but, you know, actually be a detriment to protection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned earlier, Troy, when I called you to see if you'd mind doing this call with us to get out to the field, that you know, a little bit about your staff and availability, and I was just wondering if you would repeat that here.
Absolutely. We've got a great development team. The guy that started Facebook, well, the guy that actually developed Emmunize for us is just like that kind of guy. He's a rocket scientist. He just knows stuff that I don't even understand how he knows. So we have a whole development team working in the background. In addition to that, our CTO is actually a former data center manager for a big healthcare company. On our development team, we have a gentleman that was a senior manager for Symantec Norton. It's funny, he heard about my product. We had lunch one day. He's like, I'm in, I want this. And next thing you know, he's on our staff. So we've got a lot of great resources we bring to the table, and then obviously you've got myself and my partner, Trevor. So we feel like we've got a dynamite team. We're excited about partnering up with Emmutec and selling this in the network marketing model, and we're here to support you guys and make sure that you guys are happy campers when it comes to the product Emmunize.
Excellent. If you don't have anything else, Victor, I just want to thank you, Victor, as always, and certainly you, Troy, for taking, I know how busy you've got to be right now, for coming on here, but we really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I was glad to be on there, and thanks for having me on.
Okay,
Thank
guys.
you, everybody.